Hey, we did tell you, we have a superstar in the building, and that's how we used to say it in the entertainment, in the building. Okay, so let's give that vibe. Well, with us, it's so many things. He's musician, he's been an OAP, executive producer of television series, like the list is endless. So, but for now, let's say what he will be comfortable with. He's a co-founder and chief creative officer of Live Sport 360, the one and only Darey Alade.
Good morning.
This is my way we clap and say, put your hands
together. I think the first time I ever heard your name, I didn't grow up in Lagos.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Port Harcourt.
All right, okay.
So I think I heard your name when it came to, what was that thing again they called it? This Project Fame.
Right.
There was this gentleman somewhere. We were in Nigeria. We didn't know what was going on in South Africa. And all of a sudden we heard there's a Nigerian somebody representing Nigeria on a show called Project Fame. Am I correct?
Correct.
And then everybody was like, okay, who is this guy? Handsome, good looking, and killing it. And so maybe walk us through that journey in a bit.
Yeah, sure.
But before that, what we usually want to do is get your thoughts on some of the big stories. Yes, you're in the entertainment industry, but that's in the context of Nigeria.
Yeah, we all live in,
exactly, the political situation and governance. And what's played out in Jos? Now we're seeing Southern Kaduna. Yes, you're an entertainer. Yes, you are an executive producer and the rest. But how do you internalize all of that?
It's hard, and it's quite sad as well. It's a tough situation. It's rampant. It's repetitive. What's going to change? And I think that apart from apprehending the culprits, and you guys have done great in bringing these issues to life and to our consciousness. For me, it's about the root causes. We need to try and go back to the drawing board and figure out why this continues to happen over and over. We can't keep, year on year. It's almost like an anniversary, type of situation. Quite sad and honestly annoying, we must try and lend our voices one way or the other. It's barely enough. We make noise about global situations and challenges, but this is happening right here in our home. What is causing it? Why? We're all of the same skin. We're all of the same, heritage, as it were.
Blood flows through our veins.
And blood flows. We're all human. So what's the root cause? Is what I would say. I'd love to see, the authorities, as it were, try to. I don't hear anybody really trying to talk about it. Yes, want to apprehend the culprits. What happened? Where are they? Who are they? Why did they do this? But, what's causing this?
Okay, now that maybe that is off your chest,
thing, right?
That is off your chest. We needed to get that off our chest because, of course, people are dying. Nobody should be smiling when people are dying. Maybe let's look at the brighter side on your journey before we dig deep into what Darey has now become, larger than life, and all of that. Walk us through that journey to South Africa for a bit.
Oof, that's a long time ago now.
Yes,
2004. Well, I was on the radio, as you've rightly highlighted earlier. I used to work at Cool FM as an on-air personality. Did all of it, morning, afternoon, overnight, especially the overnight, the graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift, goodness.
And I was doubling, in school as well at the time, doing all sorts of entertainment-related jobs. And I actually played this commercial on the radio back in the day, and it was call to audition for that show.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, let me use my break time and quickly, I hopped on my motorcycle. I went to the audition, and really the rest of it is, to cut the long story short, I think there was 3 of us that represented Nigeria at the time, and I became the one that kind of went through the funnel and came out, made it to the finale, as it were. Didn't win, but didn't need to. Just used that opportunity as a launching pad, and the rest is history.
Well, for me, I followed that, and I interviewed you not long after that. So I remember, it's funny how I remember even your performance, Dance with My Father. Oof. And I don't remember the winner of Project Fame.
Right.
That was a huge performance that has been ingrained in my memory.
Yeah.
How would you say that, transformed your career through the years and, up until where you are today?
I mean, to think that I started, in church, choir, started with doing covers, and then graduated to writing my own music and going on the show and using that platform for more visibility and just let people know that there's some talent here, and then building a career off of that. It's just been interesting for me, and it's something that I've evolved, beyond the music. I've applied all of those things to everything that I've done over the years, and I think creativity is just paramount in that regard.
So there's Darey Art Alade.
Yes.
But there was Art Alade.
Ah, the one before.
The one before. And I know a lot of people might not know the story, but you were born into a family of a celebrity already at that time with what, your father had done across board.
Spot on.
Spot on, right? And I imagine you got a lot of that from him, watching him.
Well, I was very young.
Very young then, so maybe it's genetics, not essentially nurture, more nature. But a lot of people know you. I mean, look at that beautiful music video that you've put out. So you churn out a lot of work. I don't know how much the Gen Zs or the netizens are, but for me, I still have a grasp.
We're Gen Z now.
There you go, Kayode.
Are you guys laughing at him or you're laughing at him?
We're laughing for him.
I am a Gen Z also.
You're Gen Z.
Maybe we need to redefine what Gen Z means.
Guys,
every few years.
I'm a Gen
it will be adjusted.
I know, right? We'll just expand the gap. But for me, I still have a grouse against the lady in You're Not the Girl I Used to Know.
Right.
I'm like, why did you do that to Darey? I mean, we were all on your side, not on the lady's side.
Yes.
So a lot of us grew up on your music, being a fan of you, and I must say, a lot of people. But I need to touch on something which is quite tricky, and that's how vital music is as a tool for consciousness, for political change, and the rest. That song for me was a big deal because I believed it. But what we have these days, a lot of people say music is not as conscious as it ought to be. The content doesn't drive. I mean, they talk about Fela, for example. We still groove to his music today. And while you're grooving, you're thinking about governance and how things should be better. So you tell us about what you're doing in music now, because I know you've transitioned to a lot of things, but speak to the music industry. Do we still have that value in the music industry where music is seen as a tool for change, political change in governance, positive change generally?
It should be. I think we need more of that. To be honest, I think our music now is more escapism than anything else. We try not to live in the current reality, and we create another bubble where people can just go to and feel free, have fun, and that heightened sense of pleasure, as it were. And it reflects in the music, it reflects in the lyrics, and the vibe that we currently have. There's nothing wrong with it, but we do need more of what you're talking about. God rest his soul, people like Sound Sultan, who would always use that platform to speak. I try to inspire, to motivate, with some of the songs that I've done over the years. Jah Guide Me, Pray For Me, things like that, just to remind people that there's variety, there's something else, that, and I've said this, for many years, you can't be studying and listening to most of the kind of songs that we have now. There should be music for all sorts of moods, you pictured it.
I get the point. You're going to fail that exam straight up.
So variety is important, and I think that speaking, whether it's truth to power or inspiring the masses, or what kind of music would you play in this current temperature that we have, with these killings and all of that, because art imitates life, really and truly. But our art, seemingly music, is quite, it's an escapist.
And I'm curious, before I ask my next question, is why do you think this escapism, as you call it, is prevalent? In spite of what's going on, people just choose to say, look, I can't deal.
The wala too much. That's like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just the way that we find that's how we cope, create our own different.
Unclear.
Just before we leave the escapism, speaking of Afrobeat, it has evolved. As Kadi has rightly said, from the time of Fela, the grandfather of the brand of music. What we see with the generation of Davido and Burna Boy, they've infused dancehall, and a more modern percussions into the brand of music. But that consciousness is being lost. Either it's using the brand of music to speak truth to power, or to inspire, or to cause us to reflect. Is it losing? Are you worried that Afrobeat is losing its potency?
Well, in answering the question, my response might not be what you're expecting. What I'm more concerned about Afrobeats losing is the relevance, the hype and the attention that we are enjoying now, because we need to use this attention to trickle down the value chain. We need to use it to build infrastructure. We need to use it to get the next generation of stars, as it were, ready for that global limelight. And we're not doing enough, to my thinking.
But it's selling.
It's selling. It's trending. It's now. But I'm also thinking, for the future.
Let me bring in the issue of money at the end of the day, because money is quite important.
Yeah.
I know that PwC had done a report, I think in 2021 or so, about the contribution of entertainment in Nigeria to about 2.3. That came to about over $600 million. If you put it in Naira, about 200 billion Naira. And just like she said, one of the concerns we're having now is the industry was built in spite of government. And it appears that it's going that way, even though government is trying to show interest and all of that. So if you were to speak to government and everybody involved in terms of the value chain, the opportunity, because what they look at sometimes, if you go to the banks, is the volatility. If I put $1 million on Darey at Alade to create this, that, how much am I going to get in return? So what are they, on your side as practitioners, what should you be doing to attract investment? And what is expected? Because we need to move from empowerment to real investment. Now, Burna Boy, Whiskey, they are going all over venues. We don't even have venues for concerts anymore. So we don't have this booking. So what should we be doing?
You've hit the nail on the head, and I think that's it's the truth. And I think that's the bottom line. Recent conversations have happened. You touched on government. In fact, I think recently, a few weeks ago, I was there when the vice president, apologized literally, to the creative sector, saying, look, we know that we have been playing catch up. We're sorry. We know that you built this, as you said, despite, not having full support or, the involvement of government, as it were. And you've flown the flag, and you guys are doing great. But now they want to capitalize, they want to latch on. What does that mean at the end of the day? We need to be taxable, at the end of it.
Is that something you like to hear?
No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with, capturing, it's government as well as a business, right? So you empower, then you can tax. You can't do it the other way around.
Sure.
So talking about that empowerment, things that we've tried to do on as live sports, for example, Entertainment Week Lagos, is we need to build hubs, where actual empowerment can happen, whether it's learning, upskilling, trainings, workshops, things like that, which we've done over the last couple of years for free, to anyone, any practitioner within the value chain, whether it's lighting, sound, and all of that. And then the question of infrastructure as well. Venues, you have some of the biggest stars, as you said, global stars right now are Nigerians, but when you are my friend, you're a big.
I am.
Yes, now you sell arenas around the world. I mean, too, in my country, I'm also big, But if I were to invite you, to come on a tour, in Nigeria to perform to the millions of people here, where are the venues, that I can be proud to say, my friend Ed Sheeran,
Come perform here.
Where's your guitar?
We have good multimedia and the rest.
So those are some of the actual challenges that we are hoping that's where there's opportunity for partnerships. That's where the government needs to, come, whether it's land, whether it's funding, financing, things are happening. If we're able to get more single digits loans, or grants, as it were, to build this infrastructure, then we can answer that question of, if I were to give you $1 million, as investment into whatever project or this infrastructure, then you can see, the trickle-down effect. How much would it be hired out? How many times a day or a week or a year can that investment make, its money back? So these are things that we're working on.
But the thing is this, I know that you personally have been able to transition quite brilliantly, I must add, from radio to music, now events. So you're like the dream, or you're living the dream for a lot of people. Because, music, some will say, can't, for the average musician, you can't live on music for life. And we've seen a lot of musicians that reign there now are coming out to ask for donations, sadly. So I think it's just the downside of that. But you have done it quite well. First, what are you up to these days? I won't be surprised if you're running for president or governor.
No,
so you're not planning to go into politics?
No political ambition.
But why? Because you've sort of done quite well in music, entertainment, and it's essentially the same principles. You learn to build and scale up.
We've not finished the one we are doing. We have not even finished.
But some of your colleagues have,
which is okay.
So,
which is all right.
While you're telling us what you're doing, pardon me, Jeff, I need to get this in. The dearth in your brand of music, the soul space.
Yeah.
I know you've been on break for some time now. We have the likes of Asha, we have the likes of Yinka Davies, but it's becoming less popular, if you've observed. So what's happening? What are you being deliberate about getting soul and jazz back on the scene?
That's a big question.
Add that question to the fact what you're doing now as well.
Yeah.
I think it's the evolution. I don't think that I can continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect the same results. I'm trying to do it, go at it a different, direction, and it's more about empowerment. For example, Entertainment Week Lagos, which we just concluded, last December, the second edition. Over the last 2 years, the 2 editions that we've done, we've employed almost 2,000 people, and that's again across the value chain. So beyond the music, it's really about value. And you say politics, if I can, myself, my team, my wife, and all of us that work together, if we can continue to create that value, then that's success for us. That's the actual success. The beauty of the music and the emotions and the quality of sound that you talk about, I think we can continue to inspire, other people. We've done our bits, at least we've put in enough effort to say, okay, you know what, maybe someone would borrow a leaf from what we've done and say you could, take it and fly with it. But as far as I'm, to answer, maybe not. I'm not sure about new music for now.
But you haven't stopped writing, have you?
No, I have a lot of unreleased music. But whether they will see the light of day, I'm not very sure.
Another question entirely. So no music this year. Let's just respect ourselves.
Whatever happens today, Darey has to sing something. I don't want to put him in a box. Whether you want to pray for me, you want to do redemption song, or you want not to cry this morning, or you want to
he's traumatized.
Even with the song, even the unreleased song is fine by us.
I know, but before you do that, Jeff, because I know a lot of people might want to hear you sing. Some of the old timers sending in their questions say, we've had national stadium selling out. Awilo used to perform there and the rest. And it was a thing, a big thing there. So what exactly is the challenge, particularly with our venues? Because I know it's a big deal, particularly for December. It wasn't quite dirty as it ought to be. So what is a big deal? What is the exact issue? So we can hopefully solve it.
You just hit it. It wasn't quite as dirty as the dirty December. Yes. That's because the patterns are changing. This year we'll see a big switch and change in the palette of the consumers, the audience. Even from a marketing perspective, entertainment perspective, AI will play a big role in how we consume AI would do the heavy lifting, the data, work, while the creatives can work on the content, the storytelling, and all of that. But
is it the result of the socioeconomic challenges we find ourselves in as well? Because we hear that O2 Arena in London is being populated.
That's a part of it. And I was going to, piggyback on and try and answer that question is, again, back to that infrastructure, challenge is identifying the places, the spaces, and then retrofitting it in a way that it works for a variety of things. So whether it's a concert, whether it's a wedding, whatever type of event it is, it has to be standardized, at least from a global perspective, so anybody and everyone can use it.
We're looking up to you, people like you in the industry, to expand that value chain, because no matter how much innovations are coming in terms of AI and all of that, artists still go, in fact, some of them, I don't know the last time they came to Nigeria, they still sell out venues. So venue is still a big deal. So maybe we have to look at security as one of the issues that is limiting some of this thing when it comes to tourism. But hey, I understand we're today out of time, but I'm still on my Darey has to sing before we let him go.
No grief for Darey this year.
So you choose a song, don't give for anybody. So let's not forget, Darey also does the reality TV shows. What's that reality TV?
Live Sport, we produce Real Housewives of Lagos.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know,
we also produce Last One Laughing.
Really?
Amazon, yeah.
Love from a Dream show.
Love Like a Movie.
Love Like a Movie show.
Yes. Amongst many other.
So you're making good money.
We're working hard.
So it's a money-making industry. If you're creative enough, you can
That's
make
why it's
it
called
in the
show
industry.
business.
Yeah.
So Darey,
Business of it.
we're just, maybe we will sign off this segment with you singing
A little something.
a little something for us.
Okay. Where's my cam? 5, 4.
Where is it?
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
4. It's 4.
So
yeah.
sing to the people. So
yeah,
I'm
sing
not
to the
singing
people.
to you
No. To the people. They've not heard you sing for a long time. Let me bring my phone.
I'm gonna get this on camera. Go ahead. It's all
No. You guys
Hold on.
wait for your lady.
Speed.
Okay.
Yeah, and rolling action. Woke up on Friday morning, told my daddy I'm leaving home. Going off to the city tomorrow, even though I don't know where to go. Pray for me, Badura for me, yeah. Pray I find my way. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone. Like, I'm literally gone.
You're gone right now. Oh, look at that.
One and only.
Thank you.
It's been an
Darey
honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And of course, co-founder and chief creative officer of Live Sport 360, Darey Alade. Thank you so much for coming through and being part of the program. So thank you. We appreciate it. We're going to bring you back because this money business this year
it's an ongoing.
No grief for anybody.
No grief for anybody.
You may just see us around Live Sport. So guys,
we just might get a live performance on the morning brief.
Yeah. There's a lot coming up. We did tell you that besides Darey singing for us, after he's not sang for like 12 years, that was me exaggerating. We have a lot more coming for you in terms of the creative industry. Another part of the creative industry that has to do with behind the scenes, as well as those of you who have made up your mind, like Bukola, that this year you're going to keep fit. That is going to be part of the conversation after this break. Join us again.